So, would I buy the 2024 Toyota Tacoma, the new Tacoma, again? You know, I've been getting some questions on the channel. Do you regret selling or trading your third generation? If you had it to do all over again, would you keep the third gen? Has, in essence, the new Tacoma been a flop? Well, let me tell you right off the bat, there is no way I would ever go back to a third generation Tacoma. Now, it's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's not that suddenly I've developed this hatred for the third gen Tacoma. I haven't. It's an awesome truck. I love the third gen. It's simply that the fourth gen is, in my opinion, a step up. Now, is it really, really expensive? Yeah, I would say it is. Is it worth the money? Well, that's up to debate. That's kind of a personal preference kind of thing. You know, it's like saying, you know, is a Gucci bag worth the money, or Gucci sunglasses? To me, no way. I would never spend the money that they charge for those kind of things. But people do it. I guess they do it for status, because for me, sunglasses are sunglasses. These are Ray-Bans, by the way. A lot of people ask about them. I don't know why. And they are prescription, so, you know, you can get them with just clear lenses, I guess, or not clear, but non-prescription. Anyway, that's kind of a matter of preference, and I guess what you really like, you know? What has this truck given me to convince me to never go back to the third gen? You know, they took away some things. They took away the power seats, unless you go up. I mean, granted, you can get all these things again in this year. You just have to pay more money for them and buy them as part of a package, which includes other things you may not want. So, I didn't get power seats. That was kind of a standard thing in the third gen. You know, they added them in, and then you got them in, I think, every TRD trim level. Not anymore. Does that matter to me? No, that really does not matter to me at all. Because you see, once I set the seats, I forget about the seats. Except for recently. I always feel like the driver's side, it keeps going down. I don't know. I gotta measure that or something. But otherwise, no, I don't miss those at all. What about the window in the back? Yeah, we didn't get a window. And even if you did get a window, Toyota has kind of shrunk it down. It's one of those portal style windows, like what the Ford Ranger has. Ugh. I'm not a big fan of those. They're much smaller to begin with, and they don't look as good on the truck, I don't think. Plus, for me, I never used it. It's like having a sunroof. Notice, I don't have a sunroof. I don't miss the sunroof, because the only thing I ever used the sunroof for was to hang a camera from it. I do miss the ability to do that, even though I didn't do that really very often. But that's it. I didn't use it as a sunroof. Heck, if they had a glass panel up there like the Tesla does, it'd probably be just fine for me. Boy, people would probably hate that, right? So I don't miss that either. Otherwise, you know, there's really nothing else that, man, I can even think of off the top of my head that the third gen had that I missed. The crawl control. That's another thing that has come up. You know how many times I use the crawl control? None. Because I don't go off-roading. Not because I don't want to go off-roading or I have some aversion to off-roading, other than possibly trashing a truck that's very expensive, be it a third gen or not, or fourth gen, I should say. I just don't have the opportunity. You know, if you can see as we drive around here, it's all farmers' fields, and farmers don't take kindly to you running through their fields when they have crops planted. Matter of fact, probably could cause you a little bit of problem if you tried to do that. The closest off-road park to me is about a little over 4 hours away, I think. So I'd be looking at an 8-hour plus round trip, and the time that I was off-roading. I'd have to make like a weekend out of it, right? Go stay in a hotel, go kick around in the dirt, hope that I don't damage my truck because I'm 4 hours away from home, right? So it's not really an option for me. Weather, we get rain here. Now, some people have argued that, well, if you get a lot of rain, you should use four-wheel drive. And I'm like, what? Everywhere it rains. I've never had to use four-wheel drive, nor have I ever, in the rain. I think that's a crazy reason to justify going with four-wheel drive. I think you're better off to lift the truck, get a little bit higher, so that if you're in deep water or something, you don't have it coming in through your doors. Just crazy. I don't know. So no, there isn't really anything, I don't think, with the third gen that I miss by going with the fourth gen. Matter of fact, there are benefits, of course. I have more acceleration, more power, and putting the pedal commander in gives me even more. It's awesome. I love it. I have a different gauge cluster. It's up to date. It's interesting to look at. Now, I know you don't drive down the roads, hopefully, staring at your gauge cluster, but I still see it out of my peripheral vision, and it's really nice to have. I feel like I have a modern truck. Fuel economy. We have to talk about fuel economy. You know, I was getting somewhere in the high 14s to mid 15, maybe 16 once in a while in my other truck. Now, part of that might have been my problem. You know, I had the different wheels, bigger, heavier wheels and tires and weight added in the form of a sport bar and other things on the truck that added more weight, which of course costs you in fuel economy. So I don't blame that on the truck necessarily, but it still did get lower fuel economy. Fuel economy is not a huge concern for me. I mean, I realize I am driving a truck, but I'm getting 18.2 miles per gallon now. It's actually back on the increase since I've been playing around with the pedal commander. It's awesome. That's a good 3-ish miles per gallon more. And if the tank is, I don't know what the tank is, let's say it's 15 gallons, I don't know. That's 45 miles. And that's a complaint some people have had about the new Tacoma, is that the fuel tank is smaller. I haven't noticed that. I think the difference in fuel economy compared to the third generation, even though it had a bigger fuel tank, is negligible. I'm so used to what I had to do with the third gen as far as visiting the gas station goes that I don't notice that at all in this truck. So I think that's a lame argument, really, because if you can't notice it, does it really exist? I would argue not. So no, I would never go back. I love this truck. I think Toyota did an awesome job with it. I don't like the pricing just as much as everybody else out there. I don't like that they took things away, but I think for what they gave us in place or in lieu of the things they took away, I think it's pretty awesome. Leave a comment. Let me know if you've recently purchased or even test driven the fourth generation, the new Toyota Tacoma. Honestly, what do you think of it? And would you trade? Are you considering trading? Have you traded already? I'd just be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.